Don't give away that inner dog, but train it to protect you better. What do I mean by that? I came across a post on Facebook and they were talking about how being calm and cool and collected really kind of works against our nature and we should be more outgoing. While I agree to some extent with that, there is something to be said about being calm, cool, and collected, thinking stoically, not letting our emotions lead us. And just for example, using the dog analogy, you ever see somebody with a dog that they did not train? And you go to their house, it's jumping all over everything. It's jumping on you, jumping on the furniture. They're yelling at it, and it's just wagging its tail and doing whatever it wants. You see people walking their dogs, and the dog's pulling them each in every direction. It's not listening, and it's almost overpowering them. You're not taking the dog for a walk, it's almost taking them for a walk. The people who don't pick up after their dogs out in public and things like that. This is what I'm talking about. That is not training your dog, and it's not training the dog in you to protect you better. So if you are all over the place because you don't have any sort of groundedness in being able to keep your emotions in check, think through things first before just barking, before biting, before lunging, before just trying to sniff everything and pull your leash in every direction, slow down some. Train that dog in you to protect you better. Because when you think better, you make better decisions and it protects you in the long run. We see this when people go out and get in fights. We see it in road rage incidents. We see it in all sorts of areas where people are just yelling or acting out in ways that are not beneficial to anybody, especially themselves. Even if it's just a non harmful confrontation, it's still a bad representation of self. It still shows that there is a lack of control, a lack of emotional maturity. And those are the things that you would want from a guard dog. You would want it to know when to sit. You know when it would need to address something. You know when it would need to retrieve something. Like that's the point of training something like that. You train you. And then that calm, cool, and collected, that dog's just laying there on the, on the porch. And if you need it, if you need to pull it out because someone else is encroaching on your boundaries, your property, that guard dog in you, that head pops up, those ears are looking around, maybe that lip, and then you can go in stages, the warnings, the actual approach, the protection of self. But that dog knows when to, and it also knows when not to. And that's my thoughts when it comes to that sort of thing. So, what are your thoughts when it comes to something like that? Leave in the chat. Love to hear from you guys. Ace up the sleeve, advice, comment, experience. Because I don't know if reverting back to not being in control, and I don't think that that's what the person actually meant, but I'm just speaking to it. And even so, even if we should love more honestly and brutally and things like that, there was a time where I was brutally honest, and I still can be, but sometimes we can deliver a better message. It can be the straight truth, the same straight truth, but it also doesn't have to hurt the person as well. Brutally honest. Why not just be honest? And the brutality doesn't have to be part of it. We can still tell people the same thing. Hey, that doesn't look as good on you. I mean, maybe you want to try this instead. Maybe, there's ways to put things, and that's the maturity. That's the training. That's the understanding of being able to say, my dog knows when to bite versus my dog will just bite, because that one is just brutality. And the other is it's measured, it's understood, and it's delivering a message when it's supposed to, and in a way that I guess might be warranted if it has to get to that point, because trained dogs know. So train the dog within you and deliver a better message. There's nothing wrong with tranquility in life, peace. That's what we should strive for. Happiness. We can go through our waves of emotion, sadness, anger, all of those things. We're supposed to. But train yourself in those moments to be the best version of yourself as possible. You can take a trained dog out to a parade. You can take it to many different places. And just because there's chaos around it, the dog's not going to act out. But if you take the untrained dog, that might be the one that's sniffing, biting. It might be yelping. It might, have like a stress breakdown. You never know. And that's part of the untrained mind. So train your dog. And that's all I got. So I hope this finds everybody in your place, pursuit, or beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. Peace, love, unity, solidarity. And I'm going to try this. Woof, woof. Now you should see the subscriptions and the videos. Stick around.